Today's TSP tips, we're going to discuss what a fiduciary for your TSP means. There's two critical parts. One, the fiduciary for the overall plan, and then two, the fiduciary of the TSP to you and your family to meet your specific needs. Welcome to Financial Planning for Feds. My name is Ed Smith, President of Valor Wealth Partners, where we're dedicated to educating federal employees on how to maximize value from their government benefits by developing and executing a financial plan. Being a fiduciary is a very big responsibility. Sometimes you get to choose who that fiduciary is, and sometimes you don't. When you look at the TSP, for the plan, the Federal Retirement Thrift Investment Board is the fiduciaries for the overall plan. By their mandate, it specifically says, charged with operating the TSP prudently and solely in the interest of the participants and their beneficiaries. That's a very specific guideline of what they need to be able to do. The focus of today's video is not to discuss how they're doing or what their responsibilities are. What I really want to focus in is you and the fiduciaries that you choose to help you manage your TSP. Now, you may decide that you're going to do it yourself, and that's perfectly fine. But that means you're the fiduciary for your TSP and how it affects your family. If you're looking at hiring a fiduciary, you want to be able to look at two factors. One, are they a fiduciary at all times? And two, do they know the TSP? These are two very important factors, and you want to make sure that they have both of them if you're going to hire them to be a fiduciary for you. Being a fiduciary at all times is a very big responsibility. And when I say at all times, that's what it means. Not sometimes or when you choose, but for all interactions with a client. You need to hire a true professional to make sure that they're working in your best interest. We've actually put together a video called The F Word, and if you haven't watched that, I do suggest you watching it next. It really digs into what a fiduciary means, the different levels you should be looking at, and how you should be looking and verifying that they are a fiduciary in your best interest. When I say working with a professional, I'm a little biased here because I've earned my CFP designation. What that means is a Certified Financial Planner Board has set certain criteria based on education, length of service working with clients, making sure that we have a fiduciary duty, and also continuing education requirements that we must meet on an annual basis. We have a code of ethics that we follow to make sure that we're always acting in our client's best interest, and we have certain standards that we follow to make sure that we're following and treating each client fairly. If you haven't looked at what a CFP is, I've put a link in the description area so you can go and get a little bit more education about what a CFP does and their responsibilities to their clients. This doesn't mean that somebody that does not have their CFP designation cannot be a fiduciary and they can't work in your best interest. They definitely can. But like I said, I'm a little biased, and earning this shows their dedication to the industry and to the clients they serve. The second part of being a fiduciary to clients with the TSP is knowing the TSP. It's very hard to work in a client's best interest at all times if you do not know what you're talking about. And when I'm talking about knowing the TSP, I'm not saying knowing the 5 different funds in the life cycle portfolios. I'm talking about really knowing the ins and outs of the TSP. Having a professional that's educated. It's certain things, like knowing the early withdrawal penalties before 59 and a half. Specifically things like a law enforcement officer, and that they might be able to get earlier than normal. TSPs are regulated differently than a standard 401k. And treating a TSP like a 401k can be very harmful to a client. What I mean by this is 401ks are regulated by ERISA law and TSPs aren't. This could affect different things like legal liability in a lawsuit, bankruptcy rulings, and even divorce. You have to work with somebody that understands the very intricacies of the TSP and how this affects you. When you work with a company or an individual that works specifically with federal employees, they understand these benefits. They understand the regulations and the rules and procedures they need to follow to make sure they're taking care of you and working in your best interest at all times. The last point I want to discuss today is the company managing your TSP or fiduciary. Well, according to them, they are. Maybe my standards are a little bit different. But to me, the fiduciary responsibility and fiduciary duty is all about the client, what is happening in their lives, and really getting to know who they are before you make decisions on the investments and how they manage their TSP. I take this responsibility very seriously, and I hope you take a look at who is acting in the best interest of you and who is a fiduciary for you and your family. Again, if you haven't taken a look at the F-word video, please make it the next one you look at. We really dig in to what a fiduciary is and why this is so important to clients. Thank you for watching today, and we look forward to the next video where we can help educate you on your federal benefits in the TSP.